Good morning. It's Sunday, August 15. It's, I think, about 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. I finally got some motivation to come out here. I drew me some lines, and I think this is going to be a good path. I don't want to disturb the seal that I put on the underneath side of this. That's all filled with spray foam. So I think leaving about an inch, 3/4 of an inch is a good compromise there. We'll see what happens when we get up in there. And I'm just going to cut vertical here. There should be nothing behind this. There's a metal rib here. There's a screw, the magnet sitting on the screw there. And there's the other rib here. So this should be completely void of anything except insulation. I borrowed one of these guys. This should be the right tool. One of these oscillating deals, 20 volts. So I only got 2 cuts to make. I think I'll start at the top while this is all nice and rigid. And as I come down here, maybe we'll do this horizontal one first. So we'll do less of a risk of disturbing that spray foam job I put in there. All right, this tool is doing a great job at doing what I need to do to get into this area here, but it's painfully slow. And maybe we don't have the right blade on here. It's the first time I've used one of these tools. It says wood or metal, but it's kind of a fine blade. We're mostly through from here to here, and I just had to stop and take a break. I decided to start on this area here where I cannot get a jigsaw in there. This area here, if I need to, I can use my jigsaw, and most of this I can do with a jigsaw. Yeah, I can just push this out of the way. So we're going to focus on the hard to get areas with this, and I think I might come back with the jigsaw and finish it. It'll go a lot easier. Oh, holy cow, I got it open. Oh my gosh, I got so lucky here, look. Just the first little tiny ding on that. Nothing on this one.
How's it go?
I got it open. I didn't do any damage.
I see them.
Man, is that just made it. Look at the pipe, how I bent it. But when it broke, it bent right there. And this one is screwed together. So I'll be able to unscrew that, which is gonna make that a little bit easier. Except that's probably tight as shit. Let's take a look at this thing here.
So this is what broke this connection right here?
Yeah. So I remember when I soldered these, I didn't do a really good job preparing. And the solder job, it looked like it was in there pretty good, but I wasn't completely sure. And so, yeah, this was a... Oh, okay. All right. So, actually, I kind of like what I see here, because that's a bad solder joint on the edge right there. It just popped right loose. And that's like what I was saying. I didn't really prepare this all that good. I cut that little register in there. All right, let me, all right. It's pretty straight, I guess. Let me get that thing off of there. All right, that's a, I think, anyway, a far superior solder joint. Still too hot to touch. But I mean, that really, where'd you go? That really flowed nicely. And I made sure I prepped the underside as well. We're gonna let that just keep on cooling on its own. I'm not gonna rush it. And then this time I'm gonna test tightening a fitting into it to verify that that shit's gonna hold. Then we'll put it back together. So here's the opposite side. So you can see we got a pretty decent flow. All the way around there. Not quite so pretty in that spot. All right. This will be pretty cool here. Cool enough to touch pretty soon. All right, we did a full torque test on this thing. I even bent the plate a little bit. I had it in the vise and I put the valve on there and I tightened it with this big old monkey wrench here. And it's very, very tight and the solder joint held up perfectly fine. The last time I did that, it was just an inferior solder joint. Shame on me. I did something wrong. I'm not sure what. It might have been that I didn't use the acid flux and I was using rosin core because I didn't have it at the time handy. And or also this flux. I've got acid core flux. I might have been using rosin core flux because the broken joint of the solder was all full of like bubbles and voids and stuff. It was just messed up. So we're good and solid now. Next challenge is this is installed on the back side of the plywood and originally just had wood screws through here into the plywood, which was easy to do when we were installing the plywood initially. But now that we've got this repair going on, I want to use machine screws from the outside in. So this will be in place on the wall like this, and I'll put the plywood up to it and be able to put the screws in it. That's the plan. So in order to get a good machine screw into this, I need a nut. I happen to have these nut certs, or keen nuts. I don't know exactly what you call them. They're like a rivet and nut combination. I kind of got acid all over me here from the solder, but here's the setting tool. This nut here that I'm turning, it's got a reverse thread on it. And the way this works is you thread the nut cert here on all the way, something like this. Okay, and you put this in the hole and you use 2 wrenches and you turn this counterclockwise while you hold this, and it pulls the bolt. It's trying to pull the bolt out of this, just like a way a pop rivet would work, and it causes this area right back here to buckle. And it's fabulous if you ever need to put a nut and a screw into a sheet metal, machine screw into sheet metal. I'll show you that in a minute. So the first thing I gotta do is I gotta measure that. I think that's a 1/4 inch. Let's see how many. No, this is 290. So whatever that is, I have to figure out what size that is. And I'm gonna drill all 4 of these holes with that, deburr them, and then we're gonna set those in there. Gorgeous, huh? All right, we're ready to start putting this beast back together again. All right, so we did a bubble check with soap bubbles. at 50 psi, no bubbles. So I don't think we're going to leak at a half a psi. Okay. I think we're ready, man. Well, I'd call that a good save. Solid. Solid. All right. So what we're gonna do next, I'm gonna screw that bastard in there and tighten it up good and tight. And when I'm sure that's freaking done, then we're gonna caulk all this up. I might as well go ahead and, I think we got finished painting here. I'll go ahead and caulk this line as well and move on. All right, it's about 12:30. So just like the whole morning went into this, and that's not bad, man. And I think this looks good enough for the inside of a closet. I mean, we can put a little paint over that, right? It'll look a little bit better. But we're all buttoned back up. Oh, I gotta tighten these, I just remembered. Oh, and I remembered. I didn't screw this whole lid, I just set it in there and I got the water hose hooked up. I gotta put the screws through the top, make sure we're in the grooves down there, which we are. Maybe not this one. There it is. All right, and then we got those screws to put in. You know what? I'll probably do both sides, yeah. I don't put that screw in the front. That's just too much of a pain. Let me get that done.